Staying D, Card Ranger here, back with Lola. Say hi. This is my video for the John Mangini Challenge, where you pick a card that you don't know, and you research and just do a little show and tell about the player. So I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I thought, well, let me go back to my old box that I have of cards from when I was younger. Just look through and see what I have. So I collected in the 80s, but then when I got older, I backed up in the 70s. I had some 70s cards in there. I'm like, yeah. So it was fun just looking through that box. But then I found the card I'm going to do is Jim Brewer. It's a 1974 Topps Jim Brewer. It's pretty fun. So Jim Brewer was a left-handed pitcher. He was drafted in 1956 by the Cubs out of Broken Arrow High School of Oklahoma. And, he took him 4 years, but in 1960, he started his major league career with the Cubs. He played from 1960 through 1976 for 3 different teams. So in 1960, he made his debut. And, it didn't take long for him to make some kind of a mark. And I say that because in his 5th start at Wrigley Field against the Reds, he ran into a fiery guy, as you all will know, named Billy Martin. So as the story goes, and I got this from an article that was written that day. I found it online from a newspaper. Because there's a lot of little variations, but I figured the one that's in the newspaper that day, is probably the most accurate. So the story goes, Jim Brewer, who was known for his, he could throw a good fastball, but not great control, threw a high inside pitch, basically hit Billy Martin's bat, then hit his helmet as he got out of the way. Billy Martin swore hit his elbow. The umpire said, no, hit your bat, foul ball. He was not happy. So the next pitch, he kind of pseudo swung at the ball and threw his bat out towards the mound. He walked out, and the way the article makes it sound is he kind of played possum, and when he got out there, he just cocked Jim right in the side of the head. Knocked him out, and what Jim Brewer called it is a Sunday punch, which back then in boxing was basically a knockout punch. From the phrase, you knock you the next Sunday or knock you the next week. So basically he got whaled. So broke his orbital bone and he had 3 surgeries. Basically that was the end of his rookie season. That was it. Just a quick background, which I found interesting, and this he had alluded to, and then I looked it up, is the previous year, I think what really made this happen, the previous year, Billy Martin got hit in the face, again, broke his orbital bone, and wasn't out as long, but had all kinds of problems, came back with a football mask, to play. But he got hit in the face in 1959 by Tex Clevenger. So this is the 58 Topps Tex Clevenger. And he swore, Billy Martin swore after that he wasn't going to let anybody throw at him again. So I think, unfortunately, Jim Brewer was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and as they say, I think it's from The Natural, welcome to the big leagues, Jim Brewer, right? That ended his rookie season. So he didn't have a very good career with the Cubs through 63. 61, not that good. 62, down on the farm. 63, back with the Cubs. Again, not that great. But his career turned around when they traded him to the Dodgers in 64. And he met Warren Spahn before that year. And Warren Spahn showed him how to throw a good screwball. And it just changed his career. So as you know, Warren Spahn, and later in his career, had developed a screwball. He was a master. It's not really thrown anymore. It's amazing. Back then, like Christy Mathewson threw it. There was a lot of the greats that threw that. Even Tug McGraw, and then Fernando was one of the most well-known recently that I knew of. But so he taught him how to throw a screwball. So in 64, he had a great year as a starting pitcher and reliever. A fantastic year. 65, he had calcium on his elbow, so he only pitched 55 innings. But he did pitch in the World Series, and he won a World Series with that Dodger team in 65. He only threw 2 innings, but with Koufax and Drysdale, right? Pretty awesome. 66, he was out most of the year, basically the entire year, because he got surgery in the offseason or cleaned it up, and it took him a long time to recover. So he only pitched 22 innings in 66, but he did pitch 1 inning in that World Series that they lost. So, but hey, can't complain, right? 67 is where he started to rock and roll. He had a great year in 67, starting pitcher and reliever, 100 innings, 2 point whatever ERA. He was doing great. Then finally in 68, the Dodgers made him a full-time closer, I guess you would say, And from 68 to 73, he averaged 19 saves per year. And over his career, he had 133 saves. So, he had great years in Los Angeles and became known as a great relief pitcher. 71, he had 22 saves, a 1.88 ERA. 72, 17 saves, and a 1.28 ERA, I think it was. Or it was under 3, 1.3, I mean. So 1.28, I believe it was, in 1973. The weird part was in 74, and I didn't find info on this, and I should do a little more digging. Mike Marshall took over, the save opportunities. So he didn't have, that type of a year in saves in 74. I'm not sure why, I have all that success, but I didn't find anything on that. The interesting thing about 74, and this is where Mangini may give me on this video. The Dodgers made it to the NLCS, and they did beat the Pirates to get into the World Series. These are just the facts, John. Don't shoot the messenger, but if you have to give me a thumbs down, I understand. Okay. But yeah, they did not win the World Series. They lost to Oakland. So anyway, pretty cool. So in 75, he was traded to the Angels, and he played his last 2 years with the Angels, 75 and 76. Then he pitched, and he was a pitching coach for the Expos for 2 years. Then he moved back home, closer to home, and he was a coach for Oral Roberts University for like 7 years. So, great, post-career moves. So over his career, he's 103rd on the all-time saves with 133 on that list. Again, he won the World Series in 67, 73 All-Star. Can't complain, right? Long career, bad start, but finished strong. Now, when I read the ending, to this, I didn't want to end the video the way he died, the way he passed away. So he died in a car accident at the age of 50. So I was like, man, gosh, I can't end the video this way. Oh man, it just made me feel horrible, for the guy and everything. So I actually saw a little article about a little banter he had with a heckler. So I want to end with that instead. So the story I found was actually it was funny. So the heckler, yells to Jim Brewer, "Hey, you'd be nothing without that pitch. You'd be back in the copper mines of Oklahoma." And Jim said, "There are no copper mines in Oklahoma." And the heckler said, "Well, then what do you mine?" He said, "Our own business." So I thought that was a nice witty reply, and hats off to Jim Brewer. So thanks, Sean, for the challenge. I had a blast. Thanks again. Talk to you guys soon.